We're back on our second episode of the Talk Nerdy With Me podcast. I'm your host, Adam.
And I'm your other host, Brittany.
And we're really excited to be here today. We are going to be talking about episode 6, and we actually didn't watch it together just so we'd have enough to talk about. And I watched it last night as soon as it came out, and I've had to sit here all day just waiting. Because she didn't watch it until, 20 minutes ago? 30 minutes ago?
Yeah, I refused to watch it until we were about to sit down for the podcast because I wanted it as fresh in my mind as possible. But then I realized what a disadvantage that gave me because he got to watch it 4 times.
10.
Wow. Okay.
No, it's more like 5.
Okay. But either way, I only got to watch it once. Yeah, I probably missed a few things. Well, you're better at finding those weird things, the things that have to do with the comics. I'm better at seeing things that I just don't understand. I'm I noticed this and I have no idea what it means.
Well, I took a bunch of notes.
Oh, you think you took a bunch of notes? You think you took a bunch of notes? You watched it 5 times? Bitch.
Well, I don't need to be as thorough as you do.
You just didn't see as much as I did.
I could pretty much recite the episode at this point.
Me too.
Okay.
Well, we're going to start with just a kind of brief description of the episode, super, super brief, and then we're going to go into just things we saw and obviously theories at the end, kind of as we did with our last podcast. We're in the 90s.
Are we?
No, we're totally in the 90s. Malcolm in the Middle is 90s.
It's a 2000 show. I looked it up.
Well, okay.
That's actually why I was pretty confused.
To be fair, the last episode was 80s/90s, so I'm sure this one's 90s/2000s.
It just didn't feel 90s at all.
What?
No.
It felt 90s to me.
It looked too good. That was one thing that really stood out to me. The episode, the filming, it just looked so.
We'll get
really,
into that
really
later because I noticed something that too,
Yeah.
and I made a note of it. But okay, so basically we're in the 90s/2000s. I'm assuming, or we skipped over the 90s altogether.
That's what I'm thinking.
Either way, the theme song was 100% inspired by Malcolm in the Middle. It started, and I was shot back into when I was 8 years old and thought I was edgy for watching Malcolm in the Middle.
I never watched it.
It's because you weren't edgy. The twins are narrating now, which was really cool.
It's not even the twins, it's Billy.
True, because Billy's the one that has the same kind of reality powers as Wanda's supposed to have. He's narrating, he's breaking that fourth wall, but that's actually what Malcolm did in the show too, so it fit very well into this show. But did you notice that Quicksilver also would look at the camera whenever he broke the fourth wall?
Well, so did Tommy too. When Billy was talking to the camera, Tommy was looking over what is he doing?
Yeah, but Quicksilver, knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
He would, look at it, very knowingly. But either way, so they're narrating, they're getting ready for Halloween because I was correct. This is the Halloween episode.
It's the Halloween episode.
Yes. And they were getting ready for Halloween. Wanda comes down in a fortune teller outfit from Sokovia. She's literally in the Scarlet Witch outfit. Vision comes down in a Mexican wrestling outfit, literally the Vision outfit, and they're just gonna get up to some shenanigans because Quicksilver is a man-child as described by Billy, and he wants to cause general mayhem. And there's a lot more that happens. Vision tries to leave. He sees a whole part of the town that's glitched. It all ends with, spoiler alert, Wanda expanding her dome. Yeah, let's kind of get into things that we noticed, right?
Yeah. Oh, I think right off the bat, I love the costumes. They were so cool. And obviously we saw Vision and Scarlet Witches, but as soon as Quicksilver popped up and Tommy matching him.
No, for me, I noticed at the moment that Billy came out wearing his little, the little,
suit,
oh yeah, 100%. I was that's so
cool.
subtle. And then suddenly, Tommy was wearing the Quicksilver outfit. And I was of course. And I just knew he was going to have speed within that episode.
Yeah.
Especially in the beginning when they were hinting at it because they are doing the Dance Dance Revolution.
Oh, yeah.
And Tommy succeeds. Billy trips over his own feet.
Yeah. I'm gonna get their names mixed up a lot.
Me too.
Talk about them.
Yeah, I can really only think of them as Wiccan and the other one.
Speed.
No, that's literally how I think of them in my head.
Wiccan and the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love the costumes. I thought right off the bat that really just set the tone of the entire show. Just is such a huge obvious Easter egg.
Oh,
to acknowledge the costumes, the classic ones is awesome. Especially because with the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, they weren't actually given those character names while they've been in the Marvel Universe.
Because it was still owned by X-Men.
Exactly, yeah. So
it's official. They're finally starting to break through. Planning on going in chronological order. Is that cool? Okay, cool. So the next thing that I noticed was when Quicksilver is talking to Wanda, being do you remember when we had typhus in Sokovia and our mom put us in the worst outfits ever? Did you notice that on the wall at the trick-or-treat house, there was an Atom poster?
Really?
Yeah.
Atom, A-T-O-M?
Yeah. The Atom, the thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There was one on the wall, and the other side was like some kind of clown or something. But I noticed that because you used to love to change your name to Adam.
Oh yeah, always. So while we're on that though, when they were, I think either leading up to that or immediately after that scene, when the kids were gonna go on their own to go trick or treating, did you catch what Quicksilver said when they were gonna go get the candy?
Yes, I believe so. Wait, when? Like right when they're outside already?
When they first leave the house and they go
Unleash
outside
hell, demon spawns.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I noticed.
Yeah.
I noticed right away. I was like,
It's like, wait a second, demon spawn?
literally.
For those that don't know, in the comics, the twins are actually, in some way, shape, or form,
Mephisto's.
like pieces of Mephisto, who is the Marvel Devil, and that's kind of the story. There is that Mephisto kind of gave her the twins just to take them back for himself. Mm-hmm. So Quicksilver referencing them as demon spawn was a very kind of obvious.
Well, especially him saying unleash hell, demon spawn, and like they then go to obviously like literally unleash hell, but like causing mayhem. I was noticing like all the times that Scarlet Witch was like testing Quicksilver, where she literally kept like asking him, being like, "That's not how I remember things. Do you remember this one dude? Do you remember that?"
Well, even the fact she acknowledged, she's like, "Why do you look different?"
Yeah,
like that alone, it was honestly pretty weird. Well, like as great as it was.
Yeah, and he himself noticing it too, because he's like, "Yeah, I know. I don't know why."
Yeah.
And he's like, everything's blurry to me. I noticed that as well, only because her asking him and him just being like, you brought me here, which I don't understand why you would want to bring me here, because if you found whatever it is he used for, like, basically, like...
It's pretty much a heaven type situation.
Right. If you found this, why would you want to be reminded of your dark past?
Which honestly makes sense.
No, 1,000%. Yeah. So it's like, why is he there, you know? And he keeps being like, you brought me here. It was so weird. Actually, he said something specifically that made me uncomfortable, but I think it's later. Yeah, it's later. So we'll talk about it when I get to it.
Yeah.
But what I did notice was that when they were unleashing mayhem, you know, like with like the little kids and everything, that the watch, like the security watch person, was calling out the things before they were happening, which was curious to me because like it's almost like potentially another neighborhood watch guy was like giving him the...
Like they hate this is happening?
Yeah, exactly. But also like why is it happening right before they're actually getting to the task instead of doing it right after, you know what I mean? It's almost like they were being told that they were going to do that.
That's interesting.
Oh, I remember. Okay, so yeah. Quicksilver is again like talking to Wanda and saying like, I don't know why you would bring me here. But he said, isn't this what I'm here for? He was like, I was shot for no reason at all.
Yep.
And then I came here, which doesn't make sense because Quicksilver, obviously in the movies, knows exactly why he was shot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then saying, and I was brought here to cause tension with the brother-in-law, to cause like mayhem with the children, and to ultimately give you grief.
Yeah. When
in the end of the episode, what she sees is him as he would have been if he was still shot and like as a zombie, which is a strange correlation. Like, why was he specifically brought for these things, and why was he saying he didn't know why he was there when he just gave the exact bullet points of what he was there for?
So it kind of goes out of order, but while we're on topic with him, we might as well just talk about him in general.
Yeah, totally.
He's too self-aware.
So self-aware.
It's like, it's creepy because I can see it going either way. With he literally got pulled from, let's say, another, reality or whatever. He is playing Quicksilver now. That is what happened. But he's the only other person that knows what's going on completely.
Totally.
He asks her, hey, how are you doing this? Why did you do this?
But he even knows more of what's going on, is what I noticed. Like, because even when he's, like, later on in the episode, like, basically giving her validation for everything, like, where he's just like, it's okay that she did all this and she should feel okay with having done all this. And like, she's really nice for having kept all the families mostly together and for having kept the personalities mostly true to the people inside. And where did you bring the kids from? Are you trying to give them as little trauma as possible? Like, all those things that like she hasn't really admitted to and that she ultimately, I don't think, knows she's doing. And her being like, you don't think this is evil? Because she still didn't admit to it. She still didn't say she did it, but she's like, you really don't think I'm evil? Because Vision's been treating her like a freaking demon the whole time. We'll talk about it after. Well, I mean, I get it, but I also think that he needs to trust her because there's a lot of miscommunication happening, and that is my least favorite trope in romance.
Yeah, but like even right at the beginning where she was like, I love your outfit. He goes, it was the only thing in my closet.
I know, but see, she was weirded out by that too. And this goes back to my theory that she's not really controlling all the little bits and pieces.
It makes sense.
But then she had the moment where she's like, that's not what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
you know? But also just, she seems generally surprised by a lot of the different things.
Yeah. And that's why I feel like it's too obvious of an answer for her to be doing everything and to be going crazy. It's too, like, in our face. I just think they're doing a really good job at keeping a secret what actually is happening.
Yeah.
Because it's just too obvious. I can't imagine that would be the answer the whole time. She really is just controlling it because of, this reason, and she just goes crazy.
No, yeah.
So.
Well, and it's even strange, like, that Vision is becoming so self-aware and that he does go off on a mission after that. He literally just goes to the part of town where everyone starts to glitch.
Yeah.
Like, where it starts off with, like, the girl on the clothesline, like, with, like, a single tear going down her face, which was just creepy. Ultimately going to the part of the town where no one's moving. And see, this is what I was thinking, like, during that scene, because obviously he's talking straight to someone. He's like, are these your children? And what are you doing? What are you waiting for? And she doesn't react. Not a blink, not anything, So isn't it weird that when he goes up to Agnes, even though she is supposedly glitching, she talks back to him?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I guess you could give the argument that if she is Agatha, that, like, her magic maybe gives her more of leeway while she's under the control. But I feel like it's just more of that, like, she's trying to trick him into thinking that she's under the control when she isn't.
Yeah, I've been thinking that too. But it was weird too, because if you remember where she told the twins, like, the street you can't pass, that's where she was.
No,
on
exactly.
That corner.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where Vision ended up going to.
Exactly. It was Rolling Hill
town.
And Ellis.
Yeah, it was Ellis Avenue, I think.
Yeah. Well, those were the cross streets. It was Rolling Hill Street, which is the one that she'd been going down.
Mm-hmm.
And Ellis.
So yeah, everything she does, it just feels like it's like a redirect. You know what I mean? It's like she's just trying to trick everyone, pretty much. Like Vision, obviously, but us too as the viewers.
It was a weird scene overall, just because, like, she literally, first of all, why is she trying to leave?
Yeah.
Because, like, her car was pointing straight towards the shield, Yeah. It's almost, like, too in your face. It's almost like, yeah, I'm trying to leave, I swear, and I'm under control, and I don't know what's going on. And, you're an Avenger? Yeah. And he's like, what's an Avenger? She goes, you don't know what an Avenger is? And then she goes, you're dead.
Yeah.
But, like, wouldn't
you... That was
you...
creepy, too, when she was like, dead.
Oh, it was so weird. And, like, wouldn't she have noticed... Okay, so when she first looks at him, she goes, you're an Avenger, you're Vision, or whatever. Like, that's not your first reaction when you meet someone who you know is supposed to be dead.
Yes and no. I mean, in that situation, if she legitimately is being held hostage and is about to be saved, you don't go, why are you here? You go, please help me. You know what I mean?
I don't know. If I'm being held hostage and I, like, come to and I see someone that literally had a, like...
But she did. That's why she asked if she was dead.
Yeah, but that's after. Like, at first she reacts by going, you're an Avenger. Like, she didn't say you were an Avenger.
Yeah.
Which is, like, what I would have probably said. Like, I would have accepted that you were back alive, but that probably would have been my first question.
Yeah. So I loved the witch's laugh. I thought it was just the perfect cherry on top of that whole scene.
Oh, totally. Oh, and then what I was wondering was if maybe she had been in the blip. But I thought it was strange because her reaction when he was saying, you're lost in the town you grew up in, and, like, her face completely, like, fell. And Agatha's backstory is supposed to be about, like, New Salem. Mm-hmm. It ultimately, like, falls under destruction and she's trying to save it with her coven. Yeah. And that's how, like, Mephisto normally comes back.
In the story.
Mm-hmm. So I thought that was a strange reaction for her to have.
Yeah. What did you think about Hayward and Sword?
I hate him.
Yeah.
I hate him. He
Honestly,
sucks.
Though, at first, I was wondering if maybe he was the bad guy in the sense, like, is he someone like Mephisto, maybe undercover? Mm-hmm. Now I'm thinking he's legitimately just scarred from everything that happened through, like, Endgame and the last 5 years and all that stuff. I don't think he's anything magic. I think he's legitimately, like, these superhumans are dangerous. Not defending him. I'm just saying, like, I think that's his story.
I don't think so. I mean, to be fair, he could definitely be scarred. Yeah, and I don't think I don't know if he's going to end up having any superpowers or if he maybe...
So what do you think were the plans on the computer for? When Darcy hacked into the computer and it said Project Cataract for...
Yeah, which I thought was weird because cataract means, like, eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, which could be vision.
Yeah.
Like, so Project Cataracts could easily just, like, equal out to Vision.
Yeah.
I'm now thinking is, I don't think he has, like, naturally any powers or anything like that. But I think there's the possibility that he's been trying to maybe absorb Vision's powers or somehow, like, get them into himself. Which isn't that, like, the theory behind... Didn't you tell me that was how, like, Adam was supposed to be? ATOM or something like that? Or who is it? Is the White Vision?
In the comic version? Mm-hmm. Oh, Wonder Man. So pretty much he's another guy that got screwed over by Stark Industries. In some way, shape, or form, he ends up being kind of like Vision in some stories. I'll have to fact check that later.
It's just something that just came to my mind because he's just been too attached to Vision. He's obviously been trying to get him back. He's obviously either trying to have him destroyed or have him back in his possession. And he has a vibranium tracker on him, which is how he could see into the town, which I thought was weird, you know, like, so potentially, he could be, I guess, traumatized from the blip. You don't know what it took to hold on to the light. Okay, everyone else was okay, dude. Like, I think you'll be okay too. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's just going about it all the wrong ways. I mean, the first thing he says on the start of this episode when Monica is telling him, like, wow, thanks for going haywire and just, like, trying to get us all killed. And then Darcy kind of, like, poking fun, also just being like, and all your little murder squad turning on you. Mm-hmm. Which I thought was funny because it kind of reminded me of Suicide Squad. Because, you know, Suicide Squad definitely turns on her in the end. And he just snaps and he goes, oh, which one's supposed to be the sassy friend? Or whatever it is that he says. Yeah. And then when he tells Monica, he's like, you don't have what it takes to do any of this. It's a good thing you were gone when your mother died. Harsh.
Yeah, that was way too
crossing
the line.
Well, and even the weird part where he's like, you've always been a defender of people with superpowers. Look at Carol Danvers.
Right, but see, that line alone was what kind of led me to think this way about him, because right from the beginning I was like, maybe he's trying to recreate Ultron, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like wanting to get Vision. Mm-hmm. And then after this episode, and this is a very outlandish, ridiculous, probably not going to happen, but thing worth talking about, what if he's trying to create Sentinels?
That makes sense. Like, it really does, just because, like, Sentinels are supposed to be made of vibranium.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they are exactly, but you'd want the strongest metal possible.
The new ones were, I thought, Days of Future Past.
It would have been adamantium.
No, I think the new... Really?
Vibranium wasn't in X-Men. They didn't have the rights to it.
You're right. Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Well, because I remember they were saying that it was like a fluid kind of metal.
It was,
and vibranium is supposed to be a fluid metal.
Yeah.
Maybe they just didn't have the rights to call it vibranium, but I think the Sentinels might have been made of something that was supposed to be vibranium. Yeah, but that, because they could absorb powers too, which vibranium can do that.
It's a unique... Oh, it was a space-grade polymer is what it was.
Space-grade polymer? Yeah. Sounds a lot like vibranium.
Well, it couldn't be vibranium because it was immune to Magneto's powers. That was specifically why it wasn't a metal.
Okay, that's true. True. What were we saying? Oh, yeah, no, I think that would be an interesting theory. I think that he's just a little bit power hungry, though.
Oh, no, 100%. Like I said, my thing with him, he's definitely more on the military, we need to stop them, versus I have ulterior motives, a superhero bad guy.
But it's weird, because it's not villain. We need to stop them. He's very much on the we need to stop Wanda.
Yeah, but I mean, she falls under them. She's
but he doesn't really care about stopping anyone else. He hasn't mentioned Vision at all, like in his like doomsday plans.
But Vision's not the one doing anything.
No, I mean, that's fair, but if you're kind of like crazy about like people with powers in general, you want all of them to die. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like when the guy in Days of Future Past was building Sentinels, he wasn't like, everyone except for them. Mm-hmm. You know, he was like, everyone, period. I think that that's an interesting theory, though. He sucks. I hate him. And he just kept getting worse as like the episode went on. He literally left Darcy tied to a freaking van.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I don't know. He just sucks. Like he's everything that I hate. Because like he was being so nice in the beginning, so fake apparently to Monica to get under her good graces. And then the moment that she becomes a threat to his power, he's like just snapping at her and being like, you don't have what it takes. Your mother's dead. Like,
I don't know. I feel like the one thing with him, though, I do feel like he has a scared look in his eye. And that's kind of why I'm a little bit more curious about his character. It doesn't look
for intimidating. Me, but do you know what it looks like to me?
What?
It looks like I'm scared I'm going to get caught.
Yeah, I can see that too.
Oh, what I did notice, because right after that was this, hey, don't look over my notes. These are mine.
Copy your test.
It was right after the scene with Agnes. And it's when it flashes back to Darcy, and it's when she finds out like the cataracts file and everything. I noticed that all the towers behind her, which are obviously like the power towers for normally like audio and TV and things like that, they are like the exact pixels that we're seeing at the end.
End of the episode?
Yeah, like
the credits?
Yeah, whenever they roll like the real credits, like they have like those pixels. That's the ones that we see all the time.
Like the red, blue, and green things?
Yeah, just the red and blue mostly. And I thought it was actually interesting that she is in a room full of, because I'm not a technical person, but I'm pretty sure that those towers are normally for like data towers basically. So like for like internet places that like need their data stored somewhere for TV networks, things like that. And I was like, why would... I guess, yeah, I mean, if you're going to keep your files anywhere.
I think it was hacking the network, though.
Right.
Was it hacking a computer? Yeah, I thought it was hacking into the...
She was hacking into the network, but the towers behind her are all, like, computer tower things. I also thought it was interesting that she tells Monica that she can't go back in because every time that she goes in, the energy's literally rewriting herself. Like, I know that that's probably how we're going to end up getting Monica, the superpowered version of her.
Yeah, that was kind of a confusing explanation, honestly.
I guess let's just move on to like the next part, because it was really just Vision trying to exit the shield, which was weird. Like, that was like an event, obviously. They're seeing him kind of fall apart. Theoretically, if you want to get real technical with it, Wanda's power could be keeping him literally together and alive. And so him trying to leave would destroy him. But what I found more interesting wasn't the fact that it was destroying him. It was the fact, well, I mean, it was that it was destroying him, but it was the fact that Billy was the one that felt it.
Agreed.
And it was Wanda telling him, you need to concentrate.
Yeah.
Where do you feel it? And it was almost like...
He was the one doing it.
It was almost like he's the shield. Like, he's the force field around the entire area.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah, because, like, why else wouldn't Wanda feel her husband, whom she loves...
And is... in our eyes controlling or like reanimating.
Right. At that point, what you could assume is that the reality could be Billy's, because he's the one that's been aging everyone. Mm-hmm. You could believe that maybe Billy is the one creating the reality around them, because I guess maybe she could have been pregnant in the first episode without anyone knowing. You could assume that it's Billy accidentally trying to kill him while he's trying to leave. Also, did you notice that when he's splitting apart, his insides, I mean, yes, they're yellow because of the Mind Stone, but it looked exactly like how Jarvis looked in Ultron when they had the comparison of Jarvis to Ultron. Jarvis was yellow.
Yeah.
Jarvis, like, literally had that same kind of, like, kinetic energy about him, which obviously Vision's supposed to be part Jarvis, but wouldn't it be interesting if he was no longer part anything else and he was almost all Jarvis?
All Jarvis, yeah. That would be interesting. Yeah, it was weird. It was honestly pretty sad because he's died, like... what, 3 times?
Oh my
now,
gosh,
almost?
And he's trying to leave and he's still trying to save everyone. He's like, please help the people inside.
Yeah, I thought that was the most interesting part. It wasn't, his only concern by getting out was to tell them to save the people inside. It had nothing to do with his kids, nothing to do with his wife. He didn't mention anything about that. He just said save them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I thought that was pretty interesting.
Well, I mean, even how, like, in the theme song, because, the theme song always has, like...
Oh, she's so good. This is the culprit. Oh, okay, never mind. She's happy.
Does she look happy?
Yeah. No.
My baby doll.
I think she likes it.
I don't think she likes it.
Package been delivered.
It's been delivered.
Vision.
Vision.
Leaving the bubble.
Leaving the bubble.
And
oh,
again.
Yeah. Okay, because so part of the theme song is literally just like, this might not all be real. It's all... How did it get louder? Take 1 million. We were talking about...
Vision, but I'm kind of over him.
I mean, I think we talked about it like 5 separate times.
I read somewhere someone's like, he's pretty much just Kenny from South Park at this point because he just keeps dying.
I don't watch South Park.
Kenny dies every episode.
Is he the one in the orange?
Yeah.
Oh, I like Kenny.
Yeah.
But what I was saying was, in the theme song, they're saying how, like, the reality, it might not all be real, everything's kind of twisted, but you're just gonna go with it anyways. But what if, like, Vision doesn't believe that any of it's real? Like, what if he doesn't believe that even the kids are real? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that.
Like, because then, yeah, you don't normally, like, abandon your kids to your crazy wife if you do think she's crazy.
Yeah.
Billy? Tommy? Billy notices that his dad's screaming. He tells Wanda, did you notice that Quicksilver made another snarky remark? Mm-hmm. And he was like, oh, you don't want your husband to die a second time? And she got really mad and pushed him away. And I thought that was a really weird thing for him to say. Like, if she's controlling him, that wouldn't be something that he would say.
That's the thing. I don't think he's under any control. I think he's the only free-thinking individual.
But I don't think she brought him there either.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think she had anything to do with him.
Well, because even the way that they said that in the theme song, they're like, people might show up.
Yeah.
You just got to go with it.
And it was fun. I think that line was as he was coming into the scene.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's very sus because he keeps saying, like, you brought me here, you want me here, this is what you want me to do. But he's doing the opposite of everything she wants him to do. And he's not even the right Pietro.
Yeah.
When he says, like, I got shot for no reason in the street, what I thought originally when he said that was, like, that he got shot by, like, a tranquilizer and got brought in.
I don't know about that. Yeah, I just feel like explaining that would just not really be, like, that's not something I want to see explained.
Yeah, but I mean, like, for no reason. In Ultron... Pietro got shot for a very definitive reason. He had turned against Ultron.
Yeah, but also it's also pretty much no reason because it was for two people he barely even knew.
And it was also because, wasn't it that the directors just needed him dead or something like that?
No.
Like, because they couldn't use Quicksilver as a name.
Maybe? I know, I rewatched Age of Ultron today, actually, and I was actually kind of pissed watching him die again. It was just funny because Marvel usually doesn't really kill people. Killed him just in the first movie he showed up, which I thought was pretty funny. Not funny, but...
Yeah. Actually, right before that was when Pietro was suddenly a zombie.
Yeah, that was creepy too.
Yeah, well, just like kind of how Vision was, but I mean, obviously, it's the wrong Pietro. Yeah. Like, he had all the like markings from like the original brother and like all like the dead zombie eyes and everything, but it was the wrong one. And also, like, if it was him, he would definitely be more decayed.
Kind of weird how they showed him decayed. Like,
yeah,
it was almost like funny zombie.
Well, it was like they showed him kind of like how Vision is seen. I felt like there was a hint at that happening earlier on because he like surprised her and she screamed and she goes, "Don't do that." And then he did that with like the zombie thing and he's like, "Are you sure you're okay?" And she was like, "Yeah."
I think when that scene happens, I think that's just what she's seeing. I don't think that's them actually turning into that on the spot. I think that's like how she's viewing
Well,
them.
you know how like theoretically like it could have been that that's how everyone sees Vision, but like she's covering him up, which I think that got like disproved in this episode just because
as
when
much
Vision's...
as I'd like that to happen, because it'd be creepy, I highly doubt it.
Well, because like when Vision's exiting the thing, he would have theoretically lost everything that she did to him, you know what I mean? Yeah. And that's also so when she finally expands the shield. Did you notice that like all the people that were outside, like all of the people running, all the bad people that are trying to kill her and everything, they all turned into clowns?
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
They made it just a whole circus.
She made it a circus. Yeah, she was like, cool. Be the freaks.
I know, it was cool. I just feel like that scene alone, because if it is really all her, it just shows how powerful she actually is. Because she took every single person, every object, and just changed all of it. And we don't know where it's stopping. You know what I mean? We don't know where the actual border is going to be for the Hex now, because as, you know, it faded to credits, it was still expanding.
Did you notice the credits were just the credits? They didn't do credits for the people inside the show anymore. So this is actually what I was going to say, is because you were saying that everything was really crisp.
Yeah.
I think that she's losing focus of the show aspect.
Oh, one thing, just on to that. Did you notice what movies were at the movie theater?
I was trying to see, but I kept like losing focus. No.
It was The Incredibles and Parent Trap.
I love that.
Yeah. But so this is also interesting because one was made in 2004 and one came out in 1998.
Yeah.
So they're saying as far as going by decades and having continuity, they're just like, now she's getting years
mixed.
Yeah. So, and then of course, when you look at the actual movies themselves, you have Incredibles, which is, you know, your superpowered family, and then The Parent Trap, which is, you know, the twins that get mixed up. And
like, I think that she's keeping kind of track of the decades, but she's completely lost aspects of the show. She's not rewinding anymore. She's not jump cutting. She's not changing anything.
That's why it's interesting too, because when Vision was walking through the city, you think maybe she's just so overwhelmed she can't even control everyone at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People that are like just stuck in one motion or not moving or not talking or anything like that.
But it was interesting that they were all dressed and ready for like the day. You know what I mean? It was almost like she lost track during the day.
Yeah.
Even if it was supposed to be the 90s, it's in HD. It's now officially in the Marvel Cinematic Universe because she has completely lost the sense of a show.
It was just crazy because even just walking through and seeing all the different people, it's probably because there's just not that many people throughout the series. Because it was so limited.
Or when Vision like went up and you saw the entire city.
It was just crazy how good the definition was. I don't know why. I was just like, wow, we're finally seeing it in like 4K, I guess. But
yeah, I thought it was interesting because this one was probably the one that had the least to do with any of the neighbors.
Yeah.
Like, Agnes had her one moment, which what I thought was weird was that the parts that Agnes would normally be in, the parts where she's normally messing with things, are the parts that Quicksilver was in.
Oh, now. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For this episode where I was like, oh, she's missing, but like all the mayhem that she normally causes, it was being in control by Quicksilver.
Yeah.
Which was kind of like rectifying my theory that she's in control of Quicksilver.
I could see that.
And she is trying to pretend like she's under the influence of Wanda, just like everyone else.
Yeah. When
in reality, she's just kind of doing her bidding through someone else.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I really like this point.
Okay.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah?
Who do you think Monica and Jimmy are going to meet?
Oh my god, from Fantastic Four.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I want it to be him
No,
so
because
bad.
they even said they're like, we have to go to our astrophysicist. Well, that's if they make it, because they were trying to outrun the shield too.
Yeah, but you want to know my theory on why I think who it is?
Why?
So, I pray that it's Reed Richards, but not only because that would be awesome, and a way to introduce the Fantastic Four. They kept mentioning that the energy coming from within the
Is
the
Big Bang
hex
energy.
is Big Bang energy.
Which is like the Infinity
And
Stones,
she's
but
like-
also like what they happen
Exactly.
in Fantastic
She's like,
Four.
I need to meet up with my friend who's an aerospace engineer to get a device to get me back in.
Well-
What if it's a suit like what the Fantastic Four had when they went into space that dealt with the
Yeah.
cosmic energy?
Well, that's if that's happened yet in this cinematic universe.
I assume it would. I doubt they're going to backtrack and give them
Well, other people are saying that it could be the boss from Fantastic Four, the one that I didn't like,
Doctor Doom.
Dr. Doom.
Yeah, that'd be cool too.
Well, some people are saying, because he's also an aerospace engineer.
Yeah.
I mean, he was always kind of a megalomaniac, but like before the actual incident happens, he was still kind of saving face. I would prefer Reed Richards though.
Yeah, I don't know if they'd actually do that just because it's a TV show and the Fantastic Four will get their own movie and they're the literal OG first superhero team. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it's like you can't really.
Oh my gosh, what if Captain America becomes Flame Eye?
I said that no because you said there were rumors that he's coming back into the MCU.
Oh my god,
And
I would
everybody was
cry.
like, why? Like, same thing with Robert Downey Jr. It's like, hey, if it's done, it's
done.
Technically, their characters are dead. You know what I mean? Just leave it as is.
Mm-hmm.
And when these reports came out, Chris Evans, he tweeted, he's like, this is the first I've heard of it. But I was just like, can you imagine if they brought him back as the Human Torch?
That
Because
would
he
be
was
so
perfect.
fun. Oh,
he was great as the
great.
Human Torch.
He
I
was so
honestly
fun.
loved that first group of the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like
So-
Dr. Reed, but he's supposed to not really be like a
Well, that's
kind
what I
of
mean.
guy
I thought
like.
he played it pretty well just because he was there,
I-
he was awkward, and he was smart. You know what I mean? But one more thing on that. I would love for it to be Reed, but I think more realistically, it's probably either going to be Rhodey or Falcon. That's what I think is probably going to happen. And I don't know even what they would have to offer her.
Aerospace engineer? I don't think so.
I don't know. I could see it. I just feel that being a lot more realistic of an ask. Like, to say we're going to get someone pop up and it's just going to be Reed Richards, I just feel like it sounds so... Even though it's possible, that's a huge ask.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What I thought was like a little nice ode to the X-Men again was when Wanda froze everyone, and it felt very Professor X
Yeah, it
freezing
did.
everyone which is funny because like in the last episode she turned all the guns against them, which was kind of like a little bit of an homage to Magneto.
Yeah.
I just think it's nice that like it seems like they're really trying to mix X-Men in.
I thought when Pietro was talking to her at the carnival, and he says, I think mom and dad would really like this,
Oh yeah.
it has to mean something.
Oh right. No, I totally thought the same thing.
At the end of the episode, I thought we'd have a similar situation where they would pop up somehow, but
No, yeah, I definitely agree. What I wrote was LOL at Sword being a circus. What a bunch of clowns.
definitely, yeah. No, I love that. I thought it was so funny.
Well, and also Darcy looked like she just disappeared. Like, you know,
That's what everyone kept saying.
well, you know how like Monica, that's technically what happened to her, was that she got like zapped in and plucked randomly into the show. I feel like that's what's gonna happen with Darcy too, is that they're pulling her into a different part of the show. She didn't just like disappear, because that would be weird.
No, yeah, everybody pointed that out. I didn't really notice at first, and then I watched it a second time, and yeah, it's...
You don't see her.
You didn't see the other side, or what she turned into. All you heard was the F-bomb turned into fudge, which was pretty funny.
Yeah, well, and you even see like the truck on the other side, but like there's no one next to it. There's no
Yeah.
one hooked up anymore.
Yeah. I do have a section in my notes specifically about poor Darcy.
Why?
I hated that scene so much. That made me so mad.
Yeah, I mean, it sucked, but I also knew, like, from the way that Monica was protected while she was in there with Wanda, I knew that nothing's bad. Nothing bad's
Nothing
gonna
bad.
happen
It
to
was
Darcy.
just like the optics of it were just terrible. Like she stood back and she was just like, "Oh, I'll catch up with you guys later," kind of thing. I have stuff to do, and then for them to just grab her and handcuff her right off the bat when she wasn't she wasn't armed, she wasn't gonna do anything.
She was literally
like,
just
"Hey,
trying to tell them, like,
save him." You
yeah,
know what I
he's
mean?
dying.
They grab her, they just handcuff her to a van and literally leave her there. I'm like, that really made me mad. I honestly saw it coming as soon as it happened.
Oh, yeah.
But I was still really bothered by it.
I mean, imagine if they had literally just pushed Vision back in.
Yeah.
The shield wouldn't have had to expand.
Yeah.
At all. And I thought it was interesting that once, like, the shield did expand over Vision, like, he still just collapsed, like, on the
Yeah.
ground. You know what I mean? Like, is this going to affect him in any way? I'm also kind of curious, like, in general, like, what is in his head? Like, is it an Infinity Stone? Or is it just, like, a fake Infinity Stone that
Well,
Wanda's put there?
Yeah, we keep seeing in the trailers she has an interaction with the Mind Stone. So I don't know exactly what the context is, what she does, because clearly it's not in this reality. It's gone. It was destroyed.
Well, what I was thinking, because you know how Wanda is like a constant, like she's the same in every single dimension, which means she can travel to any dimension.
She is.
Yes. Oh my gosh, did I hear something that you didn't? I
Where'd
think
you
you
hear
fell
that?
asleep. It was one of your comic shows. But Wanda is actually considered a constant being, which means that she can pop into any dimension
Be the same.
and be the exact same. She could have popped into a different dimension and taken out Quicksilver. She could have popped into a different dimension and taken out the Infinity
Infinity Stone.
Stone because she is the same in all. She's a constant.
Yeah.
so she wouldn't have had any effect. You know what I mean?
That is interesting.
Yeah. Like, her life is the same and she's the same in every single world.
Yeah. While we're on topic of her,
Oh, yeah.
this is just an Elizabeth Olsen appreciation. She's so great.
She's beautiful.
I love her.
Yeah,
but
she's
like
great.
even just how she changes her acting in every single episode, and it's just so good every single time. Like the
Yeah.
characters she plays, they're all completely different. She's just adorable.
I just
love
thought
her.
it was hilarious when she goes, "What happened to your accent?" He's like, "What happened to yours?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Damn, roasted."
I feel like the more we get like deeper into the sitcom part of it, the more just total American she gets in the way she talks. You know what I mean? Just so like laid back and like, what? Why do you look different? You know what I mean?
That
Just-
actually reminds me, because what I noticed was when we went to the outside, where it flashed to the outside in the very beginning, and Monica was talking to Hayward, it felt still super sitcom-y.
Yeah.
Like, even the way that the music was playing in the background, like, it felt like they were still a part of the sitcom.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Chala, now you're having kitten time? Wait, actually, one thing that I did want to talk about, because I didn't understand it, the commercial. The commercial was so weird.
It only makes sense after the episode's done.
Well, yes, but also no, because he's saying, like, I'm eating Yo Magic. The shark is totally fine. He's the one that's eating it, and then when he gives it to the kid to try and also eat Yo Magic, the kid starts to die because he can't open it.
Yeah, I thought, so in my eyes, how I interpreted that is the kid was Vision, and the magic is Wanda's magic, and you need that to survive, but he's dead anyway, which is why he can't end up using it in any way.
No, I don't think so, because
No?
he was trying to open up the package.
But he couldn't do it because it wouldn't matter.
What I was seeing it as is more of like that original theory that I was telling you, that I think someone's feeding off of Wanda's magic and using it.
I could see that.
Yeah.
It was, yeah, I feel like there wasn't really any right answer for this. Like, you can't put, it's really hard to connect any dots, you know what I mean? Because there wasn't like a name drop, there wasn't any
The
type of
surfboard
character.
was pink and blue.
Yeah.
And I couldn't think of anything that was that.
It totally reminded me of early Nickelodeon, though.
No, there was a 100% a commercial that was exactly like
That's
that.
what I thought,
and
yeah.
I couldn't remember what it was, and it was bugging the hell out of me, but I just kind of moved on. It was really, like, dark, though.
Oh, yeah. No, when I watched it, I'm like, what the hell? I was hoping Billy's eyes would turn red. That's what I wanted to see.
I thought it was weird that for him, it's almost like his body is the reality that they're living in. For him to be like, I sense something, and she's like, oh, focus in on it. Like, hearing it
Yeah,
that
it's
way, you
interesting
know?
because we don't really know what exactly his powers are.
I mean,
gonna
we're
assume
assuming.
they're Scarlet
Yeah.
Witches.
Well, when he stopped Tommy,
I didn't understand that.
I loved that.
What did he do, though?
He stopped him.
He just grabbed him?
No, he used reality to stop him. I mean,
I thought he did what Wanda did. Like, almost the exact same thing. Remember when he was running around when he first realized he had super speed? And she just grabs him? She's like,
No.
if you're going to break the sound barrier,
he
do it with your
stopped him
brother."
without touching him.
That's kind of what Wanda did, though.
I'm pretty sure she grabs him, though. Like, physically.
Yeah.
Either way, like, it is similar.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is, like, he actually, like, theoretically, you know, like, you shouldn't be able to see a speedster coming.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And yeah, you could say it's some twin telepathy thing, but I feel like it more has to do with the fact that since potentially he's in charge of all of the reality around them, that he can feel where Tommy is and is able to stop him because this is his reality, and he can change reality and be like, you're not moving anymore.
I can see that. I'm excited to see how their powers develop.
Oh my
though.
god, I'm so excited.
Yeah, I love them.
I
think
wonder
they're so much fun.
if the way that they're gonna do it is that the twins are gonna have gotten their power from the Mind Stone, just like how her and her brother got their powers from the Mind Stone. Because if you're saying that there's the cat's using the litter box. Because if you're saying that there's a scene where she's like interacting with the Mind Stone, what if that's technically what happened? Because if they're hanging around Vision the entire time and Vision has the Mind Stone in his mind, it could have manifested their powers the exact same way that hers and Pietro's did.
I think it's just crazy how we're 6 episodes deep and I still have almost no clue what's going on.
I have no idea.
Like, a lot of our theories are going to be totally ridiculous. Most of them, if not all of them, will not actually happen in any way, shape, or form. Like, not even close. But that's just what's cool about it.
Yeah.
You literally don't know what's going on. And it's been 6 episodes and there's only 9. Oh, 10. 9. Yeah, there's only 9 episodes.
I thought there was 12.
Well, so the whole series is supposed to be 6 hours. These episodes and next week only make it to, I think, 2 hours and 30 minutes or 3 hours. So people are saying the last couple episodes might be an hour each. Like, I'm pretty sure either Elizabeth Olsen or Paul Bettany said, like, the last 2 episodes are literally like a whole movie in itself. So I'm really hoping for that.
Oh, thank God, because, gosh, that...
Yeah, well, so they said the reason
made
for
my
these
heart
being
stop.
so short is because it's a sitcom.
I get that.
But that's so at some point the sitcom will stop.
Well, just now, the sitcom did stop. She didn't do the after credits of the people in the town.
Yeah. Next week's supposed to be the Modern Family episode.
True. It's supposed to be Modern Family.
Yeah.
Maybe she's trying to like pull it back together, and then she's gonna be like, can't.
But it's funny because I literally get that from the trailer. Like, just her sitting there. She just looks like so done with everything.
Yeah, she has like that strung out mom look,
Yeah.
you know, the like, I'm gonna literally lose my mind.
Yeah.
Literally, in her case. But yeah, no, I'm excited. It was cool. I'm glad we didn't watch it together. I feel like it was more fun to discuss it this way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And see, I caught so many things, and I watched
did.
it once.
Don't wait till 9 next time. Gotta wait all day.
I'm sorry I was editing our last podcast. You could have done that.
I'll do this one.
He's not gonna do it. That's it for this week's episode.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah.
We're trying to get a little bit more organized, so any suggestions, let us know.
Yeah, and this one was definitely a little bit of chaos just because I feel like the cats were ready to play, our roommates were ready to play, everyone was ready to play, and we were filming at midnight.
Yeah.
So that's on us. That's
We're
it.
still learning.
That's it for this week. We still don't have an outro, so I guess we'll just see you on the next one.
Or what's the end of the...
I was just trying to think.
I can't remember. It says, please hold.
I think it says please hold, doesn't it?
Please stand by.
Please stand by. Please stand by. That is our official exit. Please stand by. Goodbye.